I'm sure you've all had this happen to you before. You're in champ select, you pick your champion, someone then says in chat, bro, that champ sucks. Don't pick that champ, play Garen instead. He's literally one of the best top laners right now. You can play Garen, right? Or some variation of that. Now, something those people don't really consider is that you're picking your main. You're picking the champion that you're best at, the one that you have the most fun playing. But you really don't want to deal with this guy just griping at you the whole game, and you've played Garen before, so you just pick Garen. It's not a big deal, and after you make that selection, you may do well, or you may not. Who really knows? It's League, baby. But this got me thinking, is it better to go with your familiar pick and maybe just put that guy on mute, or is it better to go with the meta pick? So I set out on a long journey to find out. Now, I'm a support player, so I'm going to be playing in my main role, but that doesn't mean that this doesn't apply to any role in League, because it does. It's the same thing everywhere. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play 10 games with my most familiar champion, and then 10 games with a variety of the best champ in the role, and see which is really better. Now, for my main, I wanted to go with a champion that wasn't just familiar with, but also is dead average in terms of win rate. Coming in at 50.16% win rate when the games were recorded. My absolute favorite champion to play, even though my friends and the rest of the community hate it. 29th on our support tier list. Give it up for Lux! And our challenger today, the top 10 supports in terms of win rate, the dynamic Deset. No champion below 51% win rate, minus Brandon Zareth, as I do play them a lot, and I do want to make the champion slightly unfamiliar. We have Team Meta! Alright, boxing announcer out of the way. Who will win? What will be better? I know what I want it to be, but who knows what it will actually be? Now, I said this a little bit before, but just to be 100% transparent, things have shaken up on this list from when I first checked it to now. Honestly, this video took me a long time to record because 20 games is a lot, especially when I'm trying to put out other videos. So it got me some slack. I have a full-time job. You'll notice most of these games are from last season, but it doesn't matter because this is relevant to any season. Now, let's get into that first game. First game, we are starting with Team Familiar. I'm also going to be checking into op.gg for a lot of these stats. Game 1, we have a pretty average performance with Lux. Get some kills, get some assists, die a bit. Our Jinx is doing very well, and our team did good at supporting the bot lane nicely as they saw that we started to get an advantage. In the end, we finished the game going 4-2-11 with a solid first Lux win. We are now 1-0 with Team Familiar, but will it stay that way or will it start to fall? Game 2, we're going over to Team Meta, and we're starting with the wonderful Blitz Kronku. And at the time, Blitz was about the 5th best support, and we tried our best and had some sick pulls, but in the end, we did not do too well, going 1-7-13 and losing the first game for Team Meta. We are now 0-1. And we're going to be doing this moving forward. I think you understand. We're just going to switch off between both teams. Game 3 with Lux, honestly, our worst performance that we put out entirely. We can really just skip past that part. 1-1 for Lux. Game 4 with Team Meta, we play Silas support. Now this is when he spiked up to be the 6th best support in the game, and we did, well, you'll see. And with that, we go 1-1 because that's a win. Yep, despite that, we won with that performance. Now, Game 5 with Lux doesn't start too well off. We get an early death, but just like before, we come back with a lot of damage. It helps that their support pikes seem to be magnetized towards my Qs, letting us easily win lane, kill a ton, and make a huge difference in this game, going 6-2-12 and picking up our next win. Game 6, we're looking to continue our winning streak with Team Meta, and we are picking Maokai. As at this point, he was the 2nd best support, and to change it up a bit, we're actually a frontline tank, and we withstand a beating and are able to get some kills along the way, going 4-6-28 for a good stat line, and tying it up 2-1 with the Lux team. Now, in Game 7, we do get kind of carried a bit from our Vayne early on, because she's definitely better with that than that Jinx, but we do our job well. We get a quick win in 15, barely get out of lane, only go 2-1-5, but that brings us to 3-1. Game 8, we're going to Zyra, who is basically has been the best support in League for like 3 years. I don't know how she stays that way. It doesn't start off very well. The enemy laners pick up a quick kill, and then all they have to do is stay away from us and they win, but that didn't last because they just started walking up, giving us the opportunity to snare them, kill them, and we end up having a fantastic game, and the enemy even has an early FF. It's a giga bot diff, and we get an easy win going 3-1-8, keeping up Team Meta with Team Familiar, and we're tied up at 3-1. Game 9, enemy Yi wanted to be cheeky with a smite steal, but failed, giving up an easy first blood. The lane was a bit boring because it's Dong or Jin against us, so we just get some poke in, get the ADCs some farm when he can, and we get some kills. Actually, we have to avoid a few ganks but fail once, win lane, poop on the Yi a couple times, get more kills, then end the game going 4-1-9 as our 5th kill was coming, and now we are 4-1 with the Lux team. Game 10, we're going Renata, and she's something like number 11 at this point, but we took out Brand and Xerath because I play them a lot, so count it. And I'm sorry, enemy playing on Team Lux, it's time for you to meet your maker. You thought you could take this actual first time Renata, not a chance. Honestly, we did an okay job in bot. They just kind of FF'd for no apparent reason. I guess our mid was getting kind of fed, but that let us go 2-0-4 and put it up there. We're keeping up 4-1, baby. Now next up, the enemy team has a Xerath Alistar bot lane, which can be quite gross, and our Aphelios was on a quest to get hit by every Xerath ability. So it is up to us to carry the lane, and we did. We also cleaned up from kills from our roaming mid lane. We did all right, honestly, in lane, but our Zed and Talon were giga fed elsewhere in the game, letting us get an easy 3-3-3 and getting another win for Team Lux. I know, right? 5-1. But with all highs, there are lows, and the hail of losses is ready to commence. Now, game 12, we played Soraka, missed every Q known to man, but got some assists along the way, nice healing. We ended up winning lane, actually doing rather well, but our other 2 lanes were not, and it filtered down to the bot lane. We still did okay, keeping the Ashe alive and pushing lanes, getting towers, but the Yi and Nocturne, like, totaling up to 30 kills themselves. They were so fed, there was nothing less for us to do. We end 0-4-23, and we go 4-2 for Team Meta, and then we lose with Taric and Shaco and Janna, and we really didn't do well in any of those games. Well, maybe a little bit with Janna. Then, with Lux, we lose again, and again, and again. But one difference is we're doing pretty average in those games. But we did have an outstanding game going 8-4-30, but we still couldn't pull out that win. And in the last Lux game, we do get a win, but we ended on a whimper, and it wasn't even a game worth talking about. We did not do very well. And last up for Team Meta, we picked the glorious Teemo support, and we have an okay game, but it just doesn't really show in the stats. But a fed Rengar can carry games by himself, and that's definitely what happened. We did okay in bot lane, and they just ended up with the FF, giving another win. Now, in the end, these are the stats that we had from all our games, and on average, it looks like we're winning about the same amount of games. However, but this isn't enough. I can't end it here. I need to show my bias. Don't let the people in the lobby have influence on your pick. Pick the champion you want to play, where you want to play it. Fun is what this game is about, and if you want to play something, then go for it. Now, the wins to losses actually point towards taking your familiar pick, but I want to take a step further. The numbers prove that it's the best way to play as well. KD isn't everything, and different champions have different play styles, and although the actual win rate is relatively close, what we need to discuss is how well did I do in those games. Now, on average, if the op.gg score is the first to third best player in the game, that's a good game. 4-7 is a pretty average game, and 8-10 is a bad game. So when I played the meta champions, I had 3 good games, 4 average games, and 3 bad games. So this is basically an even split. But if you're playing 50, 100, 200 games, it really does make a difference. But with our familiar champion, we had 6 good games, 2 average games, and 2 bad game. If you pick a champion you're familiar with, you're going to have a lot more good games on average that will lead to more wins in the long run. So don't let the meta define who you want to play. Also, don't let me in this video define who you want to play. If you don't want to make the change, just play any meta champion you want and want to keep switching it up for every game, then do so. Sometimes I like to play Gangplank, and I am the world's worst Gangplank. I think I have like a 25% win rate, but I like to play them. I have fun doing it. I usually just don't do it in ranked. But don't let the people bully you into not playing what you want to play. And that's it. We did it! And if you enjoyed this video, check out any one of my champion guides that I have on the channel or any other video you want to see. Talk to you later!